All right, Sapna, many thanks for joining us. In fact, we're now joined by Rohit Kumar Singh, the Consumer Affairs Secretary, to take this conversation forward. Mr. Singh, appreciate you joining us here on CNBC TV18. Before I move to other issues, let's address the decision that the government has taken on ethanol. Now, how concerned are you about sugarcane production? And as Sapna was pointing out, that perhaps a review could warrant a change in the government's position as far as sugarcane production and its linkage to ethanol is concerned, ethanol procurement is concerned. When do you believe realistically we should expect a review?
I think we constantly watch the production numbers, and because there were some weather concerns, so we are just being extra cautious. But the review process is constant, and 4 or 5 of us secretaries meet every Wednesday. So the review process is continuous, and if there is a data point or if there is a reason to change the decision, we can always do that.
Okay, so it's a weekly meeting of secretaries, and you say that a review is likely if the data suggests. Now, what would give you comfort to warrant a review, to warrant a change in position? What is that number, or if you could give us a ballpark number that would warrant a change in position?
I think the domestic availability of sugar is the supreme criteria. So if we are satisfied that at the end of or at the beginning of the next crushing season, which also coincides with the festival season, if there is enough stocks available, that will give us comfort. So I think that's the primary criteria.
So what is the expectation then in terms of prices, given the fact that you are concerned about sugar production at this point in time, as well as perhaps inventory? What is the expectation on where prices could be in the near term?
I think because of the fact that government is being cautious on this, the prices are not likely to increase. It will remain the same because of this action that has been taken as part of the decision.
Okay, so you believe that the notification that the government put out yesterday will ensure that prices stay in check. But, we have the monetary policy being delivered by the RBI today. And while overall there is no change as far as the inflation trajectory or the inflation forecast is concerned, the RBI does have concerns on food inflation. So I wanted to understand from you now, in light of the data that is available with you, what are the pockets of concern? What are the items of concern at this point in time?
I think we are watching the onion prices, and of course in onion there is a seasonality both in terms of availability and affordability, production, consumption. So we are watching that very carefully, and because despite the minimum export price of $800 we realized that more than 1 lakh tons was going out of the country every month. So that is why government had to take that decision, because domestic availability of onions in this season is very important. As you would appreciate, onions 70% are produced in Rabi. That crop becomes available from April. Then there is Kharif, and late Kharif the crop is available now till late February. So we have to ensure that throughout the calendar the availability of onions is there, and that is why these policy decisions and tweaking takes place, to ensure that across 12 months there is adequate availability.
So onions continue to be a point of concern. Any further intervention at this point in time required? Because as you pointed out, you already brought in the export measures or export curb measures.
So it is actually a bit of concern, but not too much of concern, because some analysts were expecting it to go to 100. But we took a lot of decisions, and actually in times. So the all India average has never crossed beyond 60 this year. As we speak, it is about 57. It's likely to come down further. There are 2 other points that I want to mention here, that we are also intervening through NAFED and NCCF, both in wholesale and retail. So retail intervention is probably for the first time, and we have seen that it is working, both in case of onions and in case of pulses. So we are likely to continue this intervention.
If you can take us through the intervention, and what specifically you have done and what more you believe you may need to do, the measures in your arsenal at this point in time, both to deal with checking onion prices as well as pulses.
So the buffer, which used to be about just 50,000 metric tons about 3 years back, this year, if you talk of the onion buffer with the government, we increased it to 7 lakhs. And we've realized, we have done this analysis that the quantum of buffer available with the government, the price rise is inversely proportional to that. So if government has adequate buffer, it's a signal to the market that if somebody tries to act funny, then we can intervene. And that is what has been happening. And we pick up from the markets where the prices are okay, and then we infuse in the markets where the prices are running high. We, on a daily basis, pick up prices from 550 districts across the country, 3 points in each district. So we have 550 into 3 into 22 commodities, so many data points on a day. And there's a dashboard. We analyze where the prices are running high. And there we ask NAFED, NCCF, and other agencies to intervene. So that is what goes behind the curtain. And that is why you must have realized that despite a little concern in production, onion prices have not really hit the roof.
Let me use the words that you just used a short while ago, saying if somebody acts funny, and I know that you have previously said that there have been instances of traders hoarding, in your words, acting funny. Have those issues been resolved? And are there any points of concern where you believe that market dynamics are being sort of held hostage to funny acts?
We do see some instances, but since we take adequate actions in terms of stock limits, stock declarations, we get this reports from the Intelligence Bureau, we know what is happening, we talk to state secretaries, constantly engage with the markets, with the associations, the IPGA and the traders. So we also constantly talk to the analysts, and we know where things might go wrong. And we do intervene in time, and that is why we've been able to manage the situation so far this year.
Okay, so let me end then by asking you, sir, we're at the end of this calendar year now, and it has been a challenging year, especially in terms of volatile vegetable prices. And of course, now you are dealing with the issue of sugar production. What would be the priorities that you're going to be addressing? What is flashing red on the dashboard, on your dashboard today?
So actually it is no more red. We have seen the wholesale prices of pulses fall last week, and it will translate into reduction of pulses prices in the end. The supplies from Africa, where there's some issues which is also coming in terms of tur dal. The urad, of course, the local production has come, but Myanmar, the crop is good. It will start flowing in India from January onwards. So I don't think there is anything red on my dashboard now. It has turned to orange or to green. The only thing I want to highlight here is the wholesale price fall will translate into retail price fall with a delta. It's about 30 to 40 days in respect of some commodities. So you will see it happening. The other good point is that the consumption is lower in winter season because a lot of people prefer the price sensitive segment of the population prefers vegetables. So in these months, even the pulses consumption is low. So there are no red signs as of now.
No red signs on your dashboard. That's good to hear, sir. Thanks very much for joining us on CNBC-TV18, and we look forward to hearing back from you on the issue of procurement for ethanol as and when that review does take place. It is, as you pointed out, a weekly process. But if there is a change in stance, we look forward to hearing more from you on that front. Appreciate your time here on CNBC-TV18. With that, it is time for us to wrap up this edition of Business 360. Thanks very much for watching. Do stay tuned. The news continues here right after this break.
CNBC-TV18, embarking on